went from 0 to 500,000 views on TikTok in the past 60 days. And I also went from 0 to 1,000 followers in 30 days on TikTok. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how I got more followers and how I went viral on TikTok. So make sure you stick to the end of this video, because these things I'm going to be saying, most people on TikTok do not talk about it. The first thing I did was I studied my niche. And one thing you people need to know is that not all niches are the same. There are niches that when you post content, 90% of the time or 50% of the time, those contents will go viral. And there are other niches that, because the audience are not that much, or audience who would prefer that kind of content you're making are not that much, that niche is not as likely to go viral as some other niches. I'm not saying because your niche doesn't go viral, you should not make that content. When you are in a niche that is hardly likely to go viral, you study the topics in that niche that are most likely going to go viral. And you need to do research. That's why you need to follow content creators that create similar content to you, so that you know what works and what doesn't work. Then you focus on what works to build your account, while still focusing on other things that are still valuable to that same audience. Second thing I did was I was posting multiple times a day. I posted 3 times a day for 30 days when I started. I followed big creators that spoke about how volume would impact the amount of views and amount of follows you get, which is actually logical, because the more you post, the more views you should get. Like, it should only make sense. So I did exactly that. I was posting 3 times a day. Most people, when they start, they post once a day. That is still fine. I had the space to post 3 times a day for the first 30 days, and I did exactly that. And I got 1,000 followers even before the 30-day mark. The point is, if you post more, you get more. The more volume you do, the more results you will get. TikTok will not punish you for posting multiple content a day. I'm sure you'd have heard that, but that's not true. TikTok will never punish you or your account or shadow ban you for posting more. In fact, they want you to post as much as you can, as far as it is an organic content and it is authentic. Now, the third thing that I did was I was focusing on my hook. I focused heavily on my hook. And I'm sure you've heard this a lot of times, but it's basically just the truth. Look, like, imagine if you post a video that has a very poor hook, and only 20% or 50% of the viewers that started from the first second will get to the third second of that video. Overall, the video is going to do bad. Why? Because majority of people were not hooked into that content. I don't know if you guys can picture this in your head. If you're creating content and you're able to drive at least 90%, 70%, 80% of the people to watch to like 5 seconds of the video, it is going to impact the rest of the video, because you already have a lot of people invested in that video, interested in watching what you want to see or seeing what is going to happen in that video. That's exactly why your hook is very important. How you can create good hooks is by focusing either on visual or verbal hooks. Like, what you say is your verbal hook, and what you do in the video to grab people's attention in the first 3 seconds of the video is also your visual hook. So you can do visual hooks by editing. You can use captions on the screen. You can use even nice, really nice title, something that will make people want to see what is going to happen next or what you actually want to talk about. That's why titles can also work very easily without you doing any crazy thing on your screen. So make sure you follow for more videos like this, and make sure you save this video so you can come back to it later.